Bada bing, bada boom, we're live.
Bada bang.
Episode 3 kicking off. How was your week, my friend?
It was pretty good, man. I was down for a few days. I had a little bit of the ick. It wasn't quite the full-blown flu, but I was really tired and I had scratchy throat and all that, so it was pretty bad. It was a lot of time in bed.
It's going around. My whole
Yeah.
family has been down with some sort of thing, so it is going around to
Yeah,
all of everybody that is listening. You are not alone.
you were not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you are
did
not
you have
alone.
the full-blown flu or did you have something else?
I don't know. I never check. I never get the official. I don't really get the official, whatever people should
Are you
get.
are you one of those guys that doesn't even have a thermometer to check your temperature? Like you
No,
don't
I
even
do
know if you
have
have a
that. I
fever?
do have that for extreme emergencies. But other than that, I don't really care if I get sick. I'm not really worried about what the specific thing is, because I know regardless of that, 2 weeks later, it's going to be fine, so
You do know what end to put it in, right?
I do,
Okay.
but I should actually go to the doctor more because my health insurance is $1,800 a month.
My
So
God.
I probably should take advantage of that a little more.
What's your deductible?
Some guy's getting paid, man. Some dude's on a yacht somewhere getting paid, dude, while I'm just sitting around not going to the doctor.
What do you have?
I don't know, one of the United ones.
Like top level, top tier,
I
platinum?
don't know.
Just
No, I don't, I can't do I don't qualify for any of the marketplace things.
Mm,
So I just get the regular one or whatever.
okay. Well, I'm glad that you're up and moving around and mobile. I know that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are really coming down with a real bad case of it. A lot of people are getting like real severe fevers and worse.
Yeah. Yeah, that's too bad. That sucks to hear it, but But anyway, well, good. Yeah, I'm glad you're over it too, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So
I
what?
see I see you've got some different type of earbuds than I do. I just noticed I have a longer stem. Are those Apple or are they like
Yes. Yeah, they are.
do you have
They are.
do you have them like tucked in?
No, mine are Apple ones. I don't know. They're a few years old.
Okay.
Yeah, they're probably not the newest ones, but yeah, they work. Are yours Apple too?
Yeah, mine are Apple,
Yeah,
but they
maybe yours
just
are newer.
yeah, it could be. The stem on the bottom, I just noticed it. I'm like, that looks a little bit different than mine look. They work?
Yeah, yeah. So we were getting a lot of good comments on our discussion about music returning to a more organic type of process where it's involving an instrument and a person singing, which I think is cool that the public kind of reacted that way to that, which is interesting to me because you would think that the public is what is driving what is popular out there. Public drives it by listening to it, and you would think, but then you ask the public these questions, and you find out more often than not that people want more of an organic approach to it all.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, if the public drives what's happening in music right now, there's really nothing that's happening in music right now. Most people who listen to the radio, if you put on a rock station, you're going to hear old bands. You're going to hear like bands from like the early 2000s or maybe even earlier. Cause I don't know when the last time there was something new that came out that was like top 40 in rock.
Yeah, and what are we doing to the creative process when you can visit these apps? Like another thing, like the ability for someone to create an app now. I think that apps are going to lose their appeal as well because once again, you're really saturating people with it. Anybody can do it now. They have all of these, and you can download an app, give the app a prompt, and it builds you an app, and then suddenly I have an app. Come buy my app.
Mhm.
So there's apps everywhere. And one of those apps everywhere is the ability to upload a snippet of your voice, and you're not singing, you're just speaking, right? They give you a prompt that you read into the app, and you read it, and it records your voice, and it takes that voice and turns you into a singer. It'll
Mhm.
tune your voice perfectly, put it to a song. It'll write a song for you, or you can write a prompt for the song, or you can say, create a song and, make me sound like Axl Rose, and it'll do it. So with that stuff, though It's kind of cool, but I kind of think it feels like a novelty thing. Like, is that something that we really are going to get excited about?
Are you talking about the vocal app
Well, it's not just
or just in
vocals, it's
general?
everything. It says, you know, let AI make a song out of your original voice, and you just say a few lines into it and it makes it.
It's a novelty. Like
It
if
makes
you
it, yeah.
think about it, reality always wins. We always come back to reality at the end of the day because during the 80s when music was becoming more and more overly processed, what happened in the early 90s was grunge, and then it built back up. It started getting overly processed again, then it just tore right back down. So it's something it keeps going around in cycles. Reality always wins in the end, and there's always going to be a return to roots because it overstretches, it goes too far, and people get
Yeah.
tired of it.
If everybody has it, really what it does is it allows everybody to have a song out. You, me, anybody can just have a song because the technology does all the lifting. It makes you sound great. It puts all the instrumentation in. And here you go. Here's the song. And we're going to get to a point, and I believe this is in Hollywood as well, where it's the art. That's the trouble that you run into when it starts taking the art, when it starts taking over the art, which is such a humanistic, if that's a word. It's such a human task, right?
Right.
Is making art. I think that's when you really get into trouble, when it
Yeah.
starts taking over those tasks.
Yeah, the inauthenticity kills me. Like when I put on one of those movies that gets generated by AI, they're pretty cool at first. Like, you know how you can put a prompt in and you get like a short little clip of a movie. They're cool for a little bit, but then all of a sudden they lose their novelty and you want something real. At least I do.
Yeah. In Nashville, there were some places that I played, and it was very songwriter oriented, where they really wanted the audience to behave a certain way. So there was some places that I would go and play, and they would have very strict rules. Like, you weren't allowed to take a photo with your phone, you weren't allowed to be really on your phone while the musician was playing, and you weren't allowed to talk while the musician was playing while a song. But this is Nashville, so it's very, singer songwriter, guitar guy singing, telling you a story. But I don't know. I really like the idea, and I think if you force people to do that, they would have a really unique experience. Like, what would you think if we created a club or a live music venue, and the rule was you're not allowed to have, a phone in there, you know.
Hmm.
So when you go in and see a show, talk to the babysitter, talk to whoever, tell them, look, I gotta be away for 1 hour because I'm going into this place where I can't have the phone, right? You put everybody in there with no phone, right? This sounds like a terrible reality show, like Addiction Island or something. They have no phone and they have to sit and they have to just listen to the performance
Yeah,
and enjoy it.
I have this great image in my head of like your security guards are walking around with a roll of duct tape, finding people who are talking and just kind of coming up behind them and
Yeah.
putting the duct tape over their mouth. Like, how do you enforce that?
In Nashville, they got on you. They'd throw you out.
Really?
Yeah, it was, and I don't know if they still do it. I don't know if it's as serious as I remember, but it was a place called the Bluebird Cafe, which was historic for songwriting, and those types of very famous writers would perform there, and musicians and artists. But yeah, if you were talking like too much during the song, like they'd ask you to leave. No, go talk outside. This is supposed to be listening here and investing yourself. That's the thing. We have trouble investing into anything. And I keep saying this is why that the songwriting has gotten so bad in our day and age because of the distractions, right? So even if you're sitting down to write a song, you still have the phone over here that may beep or do something. No, I got to check this or check that. And it totally throws your mind away and distracts you from the task that you were doing. So that's why I think songs were way better before cell phones and the internet, because somebody really poured themselves into what they were writing. No distractions.
Yeah, it's what they did back then. And we did it too. Remember, God, I don't even know how long we spent writing songs and trying to make the best version of the song and just redoing it over and over and then recording it and then redoing it. Like it was a long process to even get one solid song done. And that was just because we loved it and that was what we did. There was nothing else that we wanted to do. And I don't know that there's people that are still like that. There's too much else going on out there right now. And like you said, too many distractions.
Yeah, you have to be pretty disciplined, I would say, when you're making this stuff, and you're influenced by a lot of things, it's so that changes things. You have a lot of information coming at you, way more information than before.
Hmm.
So, but that could be a good thing. Maybe give you some more things to write about.
I want to ask you this. What do you think really was responsible for uh, the killing of the rock scene? Well, or putting it into hibernation? Do you think it was more the technology, or do you think it was the scene in general? Because for a while, I've had a theory that um, it was probably a combination of both. But when you think about the clubs making bands come in and sell their own tickets and pay to play and all these other things, there was no incentive for a band to go out and do their own thing. A long time to build a following, and then if you don't have it right away, you don't get shows.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess you would have to look at I don't know. For me, it's like the artists themselves, right? So, like you look at Nirvana becoming popular, right? So before that, Nirvana was a breakthrough thing. Nirvana ended a whole, decade of music. Before that, you had the '80s hair stuff, and that was fun, energetic. It was about girls and partying and upbeat and that type of stuff. Then you have a force like Nirvana that comes in, which is very honest and very dark, but it was real. It was
Mhm.
very real. It wasn't commercialized. It wasn't per se an artist trying to write music to get views or be popular. That's a
Right.
big problem these days. A lot of people are writing and doing things for the views and for the popularity. Not to say that Kurt Cobain, those guys in Nirvana didn't want to, have success and be able to pay their bills. But I'd like to think that in the onset, if you really listen to those songs, they're very deep songs. And what was going on in music at that time, if you had a record executive look at what they were writing, they might have said, this isn't skinny bop. This
Mhm.
this isn't about having fun and partying and hair bands and stuff. That's what's hot right now. This stuff is real and sad, and it's about, you know, just real world crazy dark issues. No one's going to like this. But they were wrong because I think people like the realness in writing.
Mhm.
They like stuff that is authentic. Circling back around, my opinion is I think what may have killed all of that stuff is eventually, other people see the success of others and they say, oh, well, I want that same success. And it's
Mhm.
not started in like a grassroots thing. Like I was showing my daughter the Alanis Morissette record. I sit down with my kids and I listen to, really important records that were recorded, really important albums that were recorded in my time. And I was talking to her about Alanis Morissette and how this was such a huge breakthrough. I mean, everybody had that CD. Jagged Little Pill was huge.
Mhm.
It was giant. And
I just wanna say I never had that CD.
well, I had that CD, and it was all about her relationship trauma. That's every song. She was a writer. She wrote all the songs, and it was all about that issue. You can't get realer than that. And
Yeah.
it was kind of more towards female. Uh, uh, the female demographic really liked that because it kind of spoke to a woman being angry after some type of breakup or relationship, but it was real.
Do
That's
you
what
know
people liked about it. And Amy Winehouse as well, God rest her soul. What a talent. What a talent. But she sat there and wrote all of those songs, all of those big hits that
Mhm.
she had. It was her and a piece of paper. She was deeply depressed, unfortunately, from a young age, deeply
Mhm.
depressed and had a lot of emotional mental health issues. And she poured that into what she wrote. It was about her troubles and her life and, the relationships that she had and everything. And that was so real. And people love that. So when you stop being authentic, when you stop really writing about those things, you stop writing your own songs and that stuff happens. I think that's when things start to become kind of stale.
Yeah. I'll give you a little trivia question. Do you know who it was that Alanis Morissette was writing about in those
Who she
songs?
was writing about? I don't know. I'd imagine it was an ex-boyfriend, a relationship that she got out of.
It was the dude from Full House, Uncle Joey, the
That's
blonde
who she
guy.
was in a relationship with?
Huh? Yeah.
What
He
an
was
ass.
he was talking
Man.
about it on that he was listening on the radio and that song came on and he's like, "Man, I really screwed that woman up." That's
Yeah,
what he said in
I
his
know,
interview.
right? And not only did she make the album, but it blew up so big, you
Mhm.
know? It was really, really big. And I think that's the biggest stuff. If you look at stuff now, modern artists now, you look at an artist like Billie Eilish, you know,
Mhm.
writer of all the songs. I don't like when they do too much to, some of the songs they add production to,
Mhm.
but if you were to see Billie Eilish doing like NPR has like a Tiny Desk concert series, which is like an unplugged thing. If you just see her with a piano and a microphone, I mean, you really understand the talent that Billie Eilish is, and a lot of that stuff is great music that she's written originally,
Yeah.
and she was one of the biggest, and arguably still is hanging in there as one of the biggest. So we can't lose that. We need people like that, and those rise to the top, and that's a good thing. Should make us have feel good that there's still the cream of the crop stuff that does rise is the authentic stuff.
Yeah, and it comes down once again, if there's one lesson that I think I've learned over my entire time in music is that reality always wins. Remember we were talking about before the four turnings. And so we go into right now we're in the crisis turning if the book is to be believed. And the crisis turning is kind of like a rejection of everything that we've been going through in the past few decades. And it's a return to tradition, it's a return to community. And I think that what we're seeing right now is a return to reality and like a return to, okay, we're going to listen to music that is made by people. You know, the kitschy stuff, the novelty stuff, that was fun, but we're at a place now where it's time to turn the clock back and just to get back to roots. It's kind of where we're at now.
Yeah, yeah. And if you are a musician or a writer, I would encourage you to sit and write without the distractions, and really try to produce art that is about a struggle or something that you are experiencing, as opposed to saying, "Oh, okay, if I this is what the trend is now. If I make a beat like this or I write like this, that's what's going to be popular." You know,
Right.
so I'm going to try to mimic that. But that, you may be successful a little bit doing that, but that's a trend. There's a difference between a trend and a long-lasting artist.
Right. You have to have the right motivations. You have to do something because it's the right thing for you. It's the right thing to do. It's you're not doing it in order to hop onto a bandwagon. Otherwise, you're not going to have a sustainable career.
Yeah, I'm
You're not going
surprised
to
there's
change
not more.
anything.
Yeah, I don't like to get into politics too much, but I'm surprised that there isn't more songs about the political situation in the 70s when we were dealing with Vietnam and all that stuff. There were so many protest songs and so many revolutionary songs back then that were wonderful, and it was a whole genre of revolutionary music.
That's
Where's
because
all the songs about what's going on right now? I mean, look at the stuff that's going on, and the country's so divided. There's so many issues, and people are so passionate about this stuff. And yeah, I just think you'd think there would be more, but I don't know. In the 70s, like those songs were great. Like
yeah,
those revolutionary songs were really, really good. I don't know. Maybe it's more
it's
difficult to create one now like that.
it's the turning, man. The 70s, that time was the awakening. So that was the time of revolution and protest. And now when you go into the crisis, it's the time when people want to come back together as opposed to splitting apart. Yeah, you're during those time periods when you have that fiery passion, you're going to have that type of music come out. But I think now we're just like we just want to survive, get through everything that's going on, and we want to come out better on the other end together.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So, like, folk songs would be great right now. Like, traditional country music would probably be great right now. But there will be a return, probably another 40 years or so, to the fiery protest songs and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, we've got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of a lot of division going on.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where during World War II, that was kind of the lead into the high back then, and that led into big band, jazz, like all kinds of music where people were coming together as a community again. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to that feeling of community again. You know what I mean? Because we've been missing that and we need that.
Yeah, the blues too came from immense struggle,
Hmm.
immense struggle. So,
So what about you? What's been going on in Florida other than the illness that you've had? Anything new
well,
this week?
yeah. So in Florida, it is, it's hot and there's it's very quiet. Florida is a quiet type of place, I believe, or at least where I am. I'm not in a big city or anything. We don't have a lot of drama. We're not really in the spotlight recently for like any of the political stuff that's going on. So yeah, it's pretty quiet. It's just where I am, it's just, fishing and the beach and oceans and kind of a quiet deal. The town has grown pretty significantly and we have a lot of car washes. That's been a big trend. Someone said, "Oh, these people, they're going to need a lot of car washes here. They're going to need to have very clean cars." So we have a car wash on corner,
Are you
every
considering getting
corner.
into the industry?
No, they actually put a ban on permits. You can't get a
Really?
car wash permit to build a car wash. Nope, there are too many of them. Storage units as well. They put a hold on writing those permits.
Is it all of us Yankees coming down there and building car washes? Like, I know what we need. We need more car washes down
Yeah,
here.
I think it's the thing with the city. It's like they're just not listening to the resident because, permits cost money. The city makes a tremendous amount of money selling a permit and allowing somebody to come in and build a car wash. Is it what I want? Do I want 40 car washes within a 2 mile radius? No, that's not what I want. I would say use the money for something else. Obviously that's what's behind that.
Well, I mean, you might become notorious for being the town of car washes. You never know. You might be on the map.
Yeah, and storage units for real.
Storage, storage units and car washes.
Yeah, that's right. We got them everywhere.
I
There's
live in a
stuff.
city of traffic.
And the point of storage units, like I feel like it's just this terrible trap for people. I mean, if you know anybody that has a storage unit, like my parents, for example, they've had a storage unit for 12 years. 12 years. And I asked them, what's in there?
Hmm.
And they're like, oh, just, stuff we can't fit in the house. I was like, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to buy a new house? No, we're set on this one. I was like, so what about the stuff in the storage unit? They're like, well, you don't have a plan for it. We're just going to keep it. They never go to the storage unit. It's just there. They will
Mm,
always pay and have it there just to have it. So, it's crazy. And I think a lot of people, that's why it's good to own a storage unit because once you put stuff there, it's not a temporary thing, which I always thought it was supposed to be
hmm.
temporary,
Hmm.
but it's not. They leave shit there forever. It's just there forever. It's crazy.
I have a solution for this problem. So we have something up north that in Florida you may not have heard of. It's called a basement. And what you do is you dig the hole a little bit deeper and you add another floor underground there, and then you can put your stuff in the basement. You don't need
That's
the storage
true.
unit.
I wish we had them down here. Something's up with the dirt or something. We don't
Mm-hmm.
have basements. But you think about the stuff that people are storing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, I don't know. I think it's more freeing to have less stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
have less stuff to worry about, and then the little things that you do have, you really appreciate because you don't have a lot of stuff. If you have, only two pairs of shoes, you take really good care of them because you only have two of them. It's not like, oh, I got a whole closet. I don't care. So it
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of a story. When I lived in Outer Banks, North Carolina, on the beach over there, I was, a musician doing that scene. And this guy was talking at a bar one day, and he said he has a business. He sells boats to people, but the boat never, ever touches the water, ever in the lifespan of the boat, from when somebody buys it to when they end up selling it or leaving. I said, how in the world does that happen? Boats are made for water. He said, because there's a lot of guys out there that dream about having a boat, but they can't afford one. So what I did is I bought this big lot and I put a bunch of old boats on it that need work, right?
Mm-hmm.
like 20, 30, 40 old boats. And I advertised that the boats are free. If you want a boat, you can come and get a free boat. All you have to do is just pay for the monthly storage fee of the boat, which is, maybe it's $99 a month to have the boat there. So a new guy will come in and he says, "Oh, I want one of these free boats." The guy says, "It's yours. It's here. I have it here for you. Just when you assume ownership of it, just start paying me the $99 a month storage fee." So of course people are going to be like, "Awesome. This is great. I get a free boat." So what happens is some guy who always dreams about having a boat but doesn't have much cash says to himself, "Oh, I could fix this little by little, and one day
Mm-hmm.
it'll get onto the water," So that's what he does. He starts paying the $99 a month, and the guy told me, like, for the first 3 weeks, the guy will come like all the time. He'll sand it. Start
Mm-hmm.
sanding every day after work, putting a little bit of this, and then eventually the guy just loses interest in it and stops paying the $99. So the guy who
Oh
owns
my
the lot
God.
assumes ownership
Ownership.
of the boat again, and then the next son of a bitch will come in. The next guy will come in and, "Oh yeah, I want that one." He's like, "Well, great, someone already started fixing this one up. Just pay me the $99 a month." And so it turns and turns and turns. The boats never leave, and nobody is ever a captain. It's
It's
just
like
a
the
it's
pyramid
a
scheme of storage.
it's not really a scheme though, because it's your boat. Like, if you want to fix it and pay to tow it out of there, you can do that anytime you want, as long as you're paying the $99 a month for the storage fee. But the thing is nobody gets to it, and that's kind of sad. And you kind of can write a song about that. And it reminds me of Jackson Brown's song, "The Pretender." I'm going to rent myself a house on the shade in the shade of the freeway. Going to pack my lunch in the morning, go to work each day. And when the evening rolls around, I go on home and lay my body down. When the morning light comes streaming in, I get up and do it again. And it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of sad, because that kind of is a lot of people are in that struggle where they have these dreams and they have these things that they've always wanted to do in their hearts. They have these passions, but it just kind of passed them by and it didn't work. And then it's appealing for something like that for somebody, because they can say, "Oh, this is my chance to finally do something special and build this boat and make this boat good, and I'll go and be a captain and I'll
Mm-hmm.
change my life." But it's sad that it doesn't work out that way.
My uncle went the other way with it. He had the boat, and then it was seaworthy, and we were out on it quite a bit. And then one day he just decided, I think I need to do random stuff to my boat and replace this little piece here, replace this little piece there. It's sitting in a storage lot now for 20 years because he can't fix it now. It's too much work.
That's right. And we get distracted from these things. And, I have a problem with that too. I have a problem with doing too many projects, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you do so many projects, each one is only getting about 10% of your best,
Mm-hmm.
where if you just pick one project and take all the damn distractions. That's the thing. There's so many distractions in this life, in our day and age. We have so many distractions, and it's so hard to get big important things done when you have all these things at you all the time, you
Yeah.
know. But I got to get better at that myself. If I'm going to do something, I need to just 100%, this is what I'm doing till it's done.
That's right. Tomorrow is a lie. You never know. It's one of those things. Do everything that you can today while you're still up and at 'em, because you never know what's going to happen the next day. You might wake up and there might be a massive meteor, like the dinosaurs. Tomorrow was a lie for the dinosaurs.
That
One
is
day
very true.
they were out eating trees. They were bathing in the ocean, eating trees, and then the next thing
Yeah.
they know, big old
Yeah.
meteor.
Have you seen the movie Up on Netflix with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Don't look up.
Don't Look Up. Sorry. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. Don't
I
Look Up.
did. I
Yeah.
loved it. It was
I
great.
loved it too. Fantastic movie. And it's so eerily true, because one of the things that really stands out in that movie is the scientists know. The scientists tell you there is a meteor that's going to hit the Earth, or it was a comet. Sorry, it
Hmm.
was a comet that's going to hit the Earth, and we're all going to die in 6 months, right? And once again, country's so divided, 50% say, "Nope, you're lying. You're lying," because people lie every day, and we can fake this stuff. And we have the internet and social media indoctrinating me and you to one way or another way. And when we're indoctrinated, we're indoctrinated. And the people don't believe it. And I
Mhm.
think the same thing could happen in this day and age. If it came out, some scientist announced, yeah, it's coming, we're all in big trouble. I think there's a big portion of people that would question it, and it's good to question things. Obviously,
Absolutely.
it's very good to question it, but it just goes to show you how quick we have to question things. It's kind of sad that you have to
Mhm.
question so much in this day and age because you don't know what the heck you're looking at with these AI videos and stuff. And I read a lot of the comments that people leave on the AI video. Like you can write in a prompt and it can do, man throws puppy in river,
Mhm.
and it's clearly AI content, but you see people on there like, oh my God, let's call the police. What can we do? What a terrible man. And it's sad because they're doing a lot of this stuff to invoke these emotions. People like to be shocked. They
Mhm.
like to be horrified. They like to be appalled. That's juicy stuff. And they're creating these AI videos um, that really scare and shock people. And you don't know what to believe, and that's a big problem.
Yeah, social media in general. Didn't you write a song about social media one time because people can post whatever they want? You can stand in front of a car and the car is not even yours or, Didn't you write a
Yeah.
song about that?
Yes, it was called On Screen. Yes, I did.
I like that one.
I did. Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks. This is not a
Yeah,
selfish plug either. That was just organic conversation there.
absolutely. But I'll accept my $20 next week, so just mail
Sure.
it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you. I'll give you your royalty there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I made that one I wrote that one because just seeing everything and all of the division in social media and how people are in the comments and how people can be just so terrible and just how all of that is affecting humanity. So I just kind of wanted to pour that out onto a page and get my thoughts out and write it. But it was kind of ironic to me, and I didn't really want it to be hypocritical because I'm writing a song about social media and how the effects of it could be really negative, but then I'm posting it on social media for views,
Yeah.
so anybody looking at that is going to be like, hey, dude, you can't do that. That's very hypocritical. You should just write it and leave it in the drawer so no one will ever hear it.
We'll release it on record, you know? I think we should
Yes.
do that. I think we should do that one. I think I'm gonna come down to Florida, I'll bring the Les Paul, and I wanna actually record that one with you. I think that'd be a good one to do.
They still make, when an artist makes a record, a professional artist that appears on these talk shows, these nighttime talk shows, the host always holds up the album cover,
Mhm.
even though it's 2026 and record players are antiques, but I think they just make one just for nostalgic purposes and, they hold it up. It's also a lot easier to view on the screen than a CD, which nobody has anymore anyway, and you can't really hold up a digital Spotify file for everybody to
Yeah.
see, so they have the album.
Vinyls are big though. Vinyl's big now. Like, you get
Do
vinyls
you
in
own a
Walmart.
record player?
I
Do you
sure
own a
do.
record player?
I
You
sure
do? I
do.
don't. I don't know anyone who does except for you.
You know
You're the
me.
first guy.
Yeah. They sell records in Walmart.
Where in Walmart do they sell records?
In the electronics department, at least up here, they sell record players and records.
Really?
Yeah. You can get
That's
records at
interesting.
Walmart.
Yeah,
Back to
that's cool.
back to roots.
And needles, because you need a record needle. Don't they go out?
Mine hasn't, but maybe
Hmm.
the quality of record needles has improved over the years.
Yeah, maybe they make them out of titanium now.
Yeah, some kind of new alien technology that we don't know about.
Yeah, never-ending record needle.
What's that thing I've been hearing about some kind of a EI, or what was the name of it's like some comet that people are looking at now, EI something. Let me look this up. Hold on a second.
Yes, yes. That is from another solar system. Actually,
E
I believe it's from another galaxy.
EI Atlas.
Yep.
Interstellar.
Yep, from another galaxy, right?
Yeah, well,
There's only been a handful of those.
it's the third confirmed interstellar object to visit our solar system.
Yep. Yeah, the astronomy is an amazing thing, man. And, it's very calming for people and it's very humbling for people because we're so involved in our little day-to-day nuances. You forget that you're just this tiny little thing. You're a tiny, insignificant person in this giant, giant universe, and there's absolutely intelligent, conscious life out there. There's just too much space for that not to happen, for that not to be there. It absolutely is there. It's just too far away, and it's just the universe is just way bigger than we can even fathom with our brains.
Yeah, I don't think there's an end. I think even empty space is the potential for something, so it doesn't stop. It just keeps going.
It's pretty amazing to think about and how that would change things on Earth, how that would change people on Earth if something like that ever happened, if that was ever confirmed that there was other conscious life out there. That would be such a big breakthrough. But we've been around such a small little pinprick of time, if you think about it. Humanity, just so small.
Mhm.
Such a small, this is the big, so much of the beginning, a little infancy of humanity has happened so far. So I think that's coming. Who knows how long it will be, but I would say it's on the horizon.
I know some people that I think might be from another galaxy, but it
Yeah.
hasn't been confirmed.
Yeah, I've met a few of those myself.
You remember Womack? I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
Womack was from another galaxy
he
back
was.
then.
He was. He had it figured out, man.
He was a good dude, man. We had a lot of fun back in those days. Wasn't he the guy that set up the animal hospital show where you found the freezer of golden retrievers?
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to have the bass player be the promoter or the booker. You really want to get a dedicated professional doing that, or
Yeah,
else you'll end up playing shows at the veterinary hospital.
with clowns.
Yeah, that's right. Never goes well.
My God, man, those going back to what we were talking about earlier on with the return of music to roots, I think the shows are going to be making a comeback. Like the small venues where the shows are intimate again, you got people that are closer up to the stage. You're not going to be just another face in the crowd. You're going to be part of the show again. And
Well, maybe we have a lot of people throwing stuff now. I don't know if you've
Mm,
seen this, but this is a lot of artists are being, some of the greatest new artists now are being hit by things. And I know that this has happened before,
hmm
but, the artists are so sensitive now, when they get hit by something, it's a big deal. They throw stuff back. They get very angry. But yeah, you got to kind of take that. You got to take that very professionally as an artist. You're up there doing your thing, and you know that there's a lot of people there that are appreciating you. But
hmm
somebody just throws a cell phone and hits you right in the forehead.
I would
You
not be
know,
happy though.
yeah, no, you're not happy. You're not
Would
happy
you?
about it. But do you blame the whole crowd?
I mean,
That's
if you
the
got
thing.
a semi concussion, you might,
Yeah.
you know.
If it's just one bad actor out there, though, it's tough because do you just give up and walk out? And once again, the decency has kind of gone out the window for some folks that show up to these things. Like, obviously, you don't want to throw your cell phone at anybody's head,
Mm-mm.
much less the artist. But a lot of times they do it for views. That's the thing. It's all done for views. Everybody has this. A lot of people have this idea that they can be content creators and not, you know, by shocking and awing people.
hmm
But the thing is that's, if you do and you do get lots of views from that, great, but that's just going to be a trend,
hmm
and trends aren't going to last very long. um you have to do a little more than just annoy people. I see a lot of social media accounts where someone's just walking around annoying people, like just pushing people's buttons and then getting the angry reaction, out of somebody, and filming that, and they're getting lots of views because they want to see people angry and upset and their buttons pushed,
Did
you
you see
know?
the video of that dude who got shot at the Dulles Mall for doing that? He was messing with that guy who was like a DoorDash delivery guy, and he was harassing him, following him around the mall, and the DoorDash guy shot him like in the
Yep.
mall. It was crazy.
Yep.
We used to work in that mall.
Yeah, I remember. That's too bad. Anytime that happens, it's like, could you have done the other thing and shot there? So there's two sides to it. One of them is, well, you shouldn't have shot him. You should have walked away. You should have done this. Valid opinion. Then you have another side. why is that person going out to just annoy people? Like, if you do that, if you're always doing that and you're there, you could have been home doing something else. You could have been out doing something positive, but you chose to be there pushing the limit,
Mm-hmm.
and you're taking a risk by pushing the limit. So those are the two sides. I'm not picking one. I'm just pointing out
Yeah.
the two sides.
You don't know who you're messing with. That's the other thing. This dude's just going up to random people. He doesn't know them from a can of beans, and you might get the wrong one. And, that's the danger of this whole sensationalism that we're doing these days. You get the wrong people involved, and, these things happen, sadly.
It's the shock and the awe. People watch those things. They watch other people getting pissed off and annoyed, and they like it. And I'm sure there could be a whole experiment done as to why people enjoy seeing that. Well, number one, it's not you.
Mm-hmm.
They're not laughing at your expense. So, you like to laugh at that. I'd like to think that there was a time in our history, though, where if we took a time machine and we went all the way back, maybe 40, 50, 60 years and showed that to somebody, hey, look at this guy slipping on a banana peel because we threw it under his foot. Now he's pissed off.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? They maybe, I don't know. Do you think they'd fall over laughing?
I think they'd be like, why did you do that? Like, why are you messing with random people?
Why did you do that? And what is this device with a picture in it? This is like a tiny television. Where did you find this?
Yeah, man. It's one of those things where I think we talked about this before. I think we're kind of coming into more of an idiocracy at a faster rate than we might have anticipated. Like, it's becoming a prophetic movie.
That's right. Like somebody, can you just imagine, like in the 1960s, you're watching TV and like it's just shows about guys falling on their private parts, like on like getting hit in a private. Let's tune in. It's like our newest show. Watch Dick Van Dyke get hit in the private with a softball bat. He's like, ooh,
in the
next
middle
time.
of a dance.
Yeah, next time we'll hit him with a softball.
I don't
Next
know,
time
man.
we'll see how his privates respond to hot and cold items.
Here's an ice cube, Dick.
Yeah. But no, in the reality, those shows weren't about that. It was about a lesson you learned and Lassie saving the day. It was a very family-oriented, warming thing, actually. It wasn't somebody being hit in the balls.
Yeah, but it's one of those humors, though, like bathroom humor and getting hit in the balls. They have lasting power because I guess we've always found it funny as human beings. There are old bathroom jokes written in Rome in ancient graffiti.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd like to hear that. I'd like
Hold
to hear
on.
that punchline.
Yeah, let me pull it up because if I was prepared for this, I would have. Let me. Roman
Ezekiel
graffiti.
ate so much grain. Oh, you should have smelled his hut.
Yeah, bathroom. The body graffiti of Pompeii. All right, so one of them says, this was ancient Pompeii graffiti. Restititus says, Restituta, take off your tunic, please, and show us your hairy privates.
My goodness.
They were dirty. Let's see.
They were dirty.
They were dirty, man.
Is that where the joke ends?
That was
the end of
it.
the joke. That was it.
Now here's one. In a bar of I screwed the barmaid, and that's it. That's all it was. He wrote that. So basically, the long story short, we've always had dirty senses of humor, and I think even back then they probably enjoyed a good ball shot.
That's true. Hey, you just read proof of that.
Did. I don't know why I found that. I think it might have popped up on my Facebook feed because I've been looking at videos of ball shots and bathroom humor, and it just kind of appeared.
They also had the recipe for beer written in the pyramids as well. They found that. Yeah, recipe for beer is very, very ancient. So bathroom humor, beer. Yeah, things haven't changed very much.
No, not
like
at
I
all.
said, humanity's in its infancy, my friend.
Yep. Keep coming back around to the. Let me tell you, when the ball shot humor stops, that's when we will have evolved.
That's
Until
right.
then, we're done.
That's right. And on that we will have to leave it. I appreciate you being here for a wonderful episode 3.
Yep.
Go out into the DC world and enjoy your life.
I will, bro. And you enjoy Florida. Make sure you wear your cup. I don't want to see you on my feed.
You don't, because it's dirty down there, those parts. So, all right, man.
Love you, bro.
Love you, bro. Signing off.
Bye bye.